It's one thing to buy a highly compromised antenna because you don't know any better. You don't understand how antennas work. You've been deceived by advertising, or it's the current fanboy antenna, like the all-band 80 through 10 in-fed half-wave. It's another matter to buy such an antenna when you know it's highly compromised and you understand technically why, but you do it anyway. Well, that's what I did. I could not resist the temptation. And I'm not sorry. Kind of like buying a Ford Pinto when you know it's one of the worst cars ever made, but you just want one. I lost all self-control and purchased the puny, stunted, dwarfish Elecraft AX1 vertical. Now this is an HF antenna. It tunes 20, 17, and 15 meters. It has a 45-inch whip antenna, loading coils, and there is a switch here. There it is. Switch in there to choose between 20 or 17 and 15. B&C connector and a 13-foot counterpoise wire. Now, Elecraft has a reputation for high quality, and this thing is well made. They don't make junk. And I like the transparent plastic tube where you can see the coils. It's just so nerdy. And it breaks down into two 6-inch parts. Now, it's obviously way too short for any kind of efficiency on HF. And saying, well, all antennas are compromised. Well, that's a myth. Any properly designed and deployed antenna will do exactly what it's designed to do. We compromise antennas because, well, we have to. Can't get it up high enough, can't get it out in the clear, have to put it in the attic, or we're too dumb to know anything about antennas. This antenna has been compromised by design, and don't you think the Elecraft engineers know that? Of course they do. They're not dumb. But I don't care, and neither does Elecraft, because I'll bet these things are selling like hotcakes. Well, why don't I care? Because I can take this to the beach a few miles from here and have a little fun using the ocean power amplifier, to steal a phrase from Salty Walt. And, I don't like being a public spectacle. I'm a ham radio operator. That's why I'm here on the beach with all this stuff. And this thing is pretty much anonymous. I don't like the work either of setting up a big portable antenna. So for what it is, it does exactly what it's designed for. Outdoors, parks on the air, quick, no-hassle setup, and so on. And since you need to use it with a tuner, I can plug it right into the B&C jack on the top of this M-Tech QRP antenna tuner, which also works as an antenna stand. Or I can just use this handy-dandy battery-operated antenna tuner. You can plug it right into the back using one of these B&C adapters. So now you know how I talked myself into buying this thing, and if any of you hams have bought one too, I'm accepting confessions in the comments section. Now I can tell you right now that if all you do is FT8 and you can't put up an outdoor antenna, this might be the only antenna you need. I had no problem making contacts with this AX1 near a window. And on 17 meters, I was surprised to get a plus 11 dB CW spot on the reverse beacon network from northern Indiana. That's with the AX1 indoors. I don't know, maybe you had a Sturba curtain aimed right at me. All right, well, let's head on down to the beach, warm up the ocean power amp, and see what happens. Okay, here's the setup here on the beach. They call this Spessart Holland Beach in Melbourne, Florida. Beautiful, sunny, warm day here in mid-December. And there's the automatic antenna tuner with the AX1. Just plugged directly into it. USDX transceiver, CW key, and a much bigger battery than what I really need. And I worked a few stations on CW, K2 JVB, W8WZ, and also WZ2J. And once I'm back in the shack, I'll show you what the reverse beacon network picked up. So yeah, you actually can work CW with this thing, this little antenna, especially when you have the Ocean RF amplifier, the Ocean linear amplifier. All right, now this is important. I have the 13-foot counterpoise connected to a alligator clip, and it's clipped right onto the B and C connector because there's no ground screw on this antenna tuner. If you got a ground screw, you could certainly use that. And then it's elevated, which gives you less ground loss, right out to a tent stake. So I hope you enjoyed my salty Walt impersonation. Okay, now we're back in the shack. Here's the reverse beacon network, and I was surprised at how strong these signals were. The strongest was 15 dB from W3RGA, and the weakest was 4 dB from WZ7I. And in Slovenia, S53A, I got an 11 dB. So every one of these could have been a solid CW conversation. So can you work CW with the AX1 antenna? Well, yeah. Of course, it'll be more challenging, I suppose, farther inland, unless you're doing summits on the air from Mount Everest. I'm exaggerating, but, you know, having the entire Atlantic Ocean as your ground plane has no comparison. Now, some might say, well, you're a hypocrite because you keep knocking the all-band in-fed half-wave antenna as a highly compromised antenna, and you go and buy that thing. Nope, not the same thing. The all-band in-fed half-wave should be replaced with an off-center fed or in-fed off-center fed antenna. Much better performance as an all-band antenna. As for the AX1, you can't break the laws of physics, so any similar antenna, same size, same cost, can't do any better. So for what it is, I don't think $120 is too much for this. It's the only Elecraft product I can afford. Consider subscribing to this channel, ring the bell for updates, and 73.